Curtis, I love you.
Right? I did.
He's going to be the next mayor.
I did.
So why should I believe you or anybody else now that you're basically doing a coronation for Zoran?
Because the enrollment numbers are not on your side. You know we've had this conversation
I know, but the enrollment numbers were not on my side with Cuomo.
We've had these conversations privately. You know I gently tried to urge you as much as anybody can urge Curtis Sliwa to not run, which means that once Curtis makes his mind up, it's a done deal. But you know the numbers are not on your side. You know that President Trump... Go ahead.
So if I start with 28% from the last election...
But you're not going to start with 28%.
Why do you say
know that? Well,
I'm already beating Eric Adams in the polls.
Because Cuomo, Mondami came in at 35, Cuomo at 25, you at 14. And
Eric Adams?
Eric Adams is in last place.
So let me get this straight.
But the front runner has more than a double-digit lead on you.
I understand. But let me get this straight. The guy who's on TV 24/7 has the power of being the mayor, is last in the polls. How come he's not dropping out? Huh?
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
Because he's a person of color, and the city is 40% black and Latino. You know what the answer is.
He ain't getting the black vote. He ain't getting the black vote.
He will. He's the only one standing.
You said that about Cuomo. I remember.
I did.
And he lost the black vote to Zoran in Harlem.
I didn't know he was going to run such a bad campaign.
Whoa. Why do you think? You see, I love this. With close to 4 months to go, I'm the guy always being told I can't win. No, I can't win. I'm the only Republican. The other three agree on so many things. They want the migrants to vote, all three of them. They believe in the sanctuary city, all three of them. I don't. We can go down the list. And then I get a good laugh. People saying, yeah, he wants people to ride the buses for free. Hey, half the people ride the buses for free now because there's no enforcement of fare invasion. Thank you, MTA. Thank you, Eric Adams. The reason there's a Zoran Mondami is the failure of Eric Adams. If he would have been a Bill de Blasio mayor, he would have been the incumbent Democrat running. And it would have been round two where he would have been favored to beat me. Would you agree with that?
Well, to be honest with you, and let me just say this, folks, I'm not taking any calls for a candidate for mayor asking for help about scaring away pigeons. So I'm not going to say who's asking that. You might as well hang up. I'm not taking a call like that. This is a serious interview with a serious candidate to be mayor of New York City. There's a time and a place for that nonsense, and this is not now. So let's lose line 5, please, and let somebody else get in with a real question. Now, what was the point you wanted to make to me, Mr. Sliwa?
Oh, I got to give you an update on Eric Adams. He's hanging out with Winnie Greco in Flushing. This woman was his bag lady. She should have been in jail. People say to me, they come up. I was in Harlem yesterday working West Harlem, Black Harlem, East Harlem, Hispanic Harlem. And say, you got to get that guy out of City Hall. I'm thinking, wait, Zoran's not in City Hall. They're talking about Adams. There wasn't a brother who came up to me or a sister who said, yo, man, you got to understand, you got Adams all wrong. Man, he is not like 69% unfavorable rating.
I tell you what. If you can get a sizable amount of the Latino vote, and if you can get a sizable amount of the black vote, then you're the next mayor of New York City.
Good.
But you know that it's going to require a miracle for that to happen.
What? You keep calling it miracle. 4 months ago, you didn't even know who Zoran Mondami was.
That's true.
So everybody wants everybody right now. They're hysterical. You got to drop out. Cuomo was going to be the great savior. He fell. Eric Adams doesn't even have a party. He's back to bringing all the crooks back to his campaign openly and boldly. All these billionaires are going to give their money to Eric Adams. Let me tell you, billionaires, better be Santa Claus because they're going to take that money. You're going to wine them, dine them, and pocket line them. They're going to be stealing that money. Why? How could you be so foolish? I'm the guy. You can't buy me. You can't lease me. You can't sell me. I'm honest.
I agree with you on all those points. I'll even concede that out of all the candidates running, and I don't know Walden, but I know all the three of you very well. You are by far the nicest, and you've got the biggest heart. And I really do want you to have a shot. I want you to win because the city is in such bad shape. Let's give it a shot. But I don't even get to vote in this election.
But
right, because you already know in New York City, Democrats outnumber Republicans 6-1. And you know, Mr. Sliwa, when they go in that voting booth, they love you. The brothers and the sisters. They're not going to vote for you.
Wait,
you know that.
Wait. they didn't vote for me because of Eric Adams. Back then,
That's true.
he was on a pedestal, moderate, law enforcement, black, on his way to the White House. You remember, the new face of the Democratic Party. Now look at his numbers with African Americans. I think when all is said and done, when you looked at my vote the last time, 28%, it wasn't mostly Republican. There's only 11% registered Republicans, and some of them fled to Florida already. They're not on the rolls, and some, unfortunately, have passed away. They're double the number of independents. I have more independents supporting me than the other candidates. That's really my strength at this point that keeps me in this race. So if I can continue to prospect these millennials and Gen Zers that Cuomo and Adams only disparages, because most of them are not Zohran Mandami, but nobody's approaching them. Nobody's going after them the way President Trump's campaign did in his very successful trouncing of Harris when he was able to get a lot of the male millennials and male Gen Zs. He didn't do well with the females, but they had a strategy to get them. And I believe that led to him not only winning the popular vote, but the 7 battleground states, because even Team Harris-Biden was stunned that he was able to get all those male millennials and Gen Zers. There is a way to do it. I'm doing it. That's the bulk of my campaign team. And I need to be given the opportunity. I just entered the race. I didn't have a primary. I'm already third place. I'm beating the sitting mayor who has every billionaire in the world putting money in his pocket. And it ain't going to help because it didn't help Cuomo put a dent in Zohran.
Okay, let's listen to what President Trump had to say at a cabinet meeting. This is about, give or take, a week ago, where he mentioned you for the first time.
Number one, you have a communist running, and you shouldn't vote for him. He's a disaster. He's leading. He's got the Democrat nomination because that shows you where the Democrats have gone. He actually wants to take over the grocery stores of John Catsimatidis, who's a great guy, a rich guy, grocer, does a good job, wants to take over. He actually called me the other day. He's concerned his stores are going to be taken from him, and they won't be run like John runs them. Believe me, he runs a good operation. But he actually said he wants to run his own grocery stores. No, this is a man who's not very capable, in my opinion, other than he's got a good line of bullshit, and he's convinced them to go with him. Now, as you know, Cuomo, who does have capability, is running, but he got knocked out, and now they're running as you have Eric Adams, the current mayor, you have Cuomo, and you have Curtis Sliwa. And Curtis runs every 4 years. He seems to be a fixture on the running scale. But you know, it's I'm not getting involved.
So, Mr. Sliwa, I see you're itching to respond. That's far from a ringing endorsement from one Republican to another.
Look, he seems to think I've been a perpetual candidate.
I didn't want to say it. That's exactly what he's saying.
Wait, this is the second time I'm running. Did anybody else volunteer to run in the Republican primary? You would have had no Republican candidate. Eric Adams had a chance to challenge me in a Republican primary, wouldn't man up because he knew I would beat him. So I would have to correct the president. Somebody's telling him I'm a perpetual candidate. I ran in 2021, never ran for office before that, and I'm running again. I mean, look how many people have run 3-4 times before they've actually won.
I can't pretend to know what the president is saying, but I think he really means that a Republican cannot win in New York City. That's what he's really saying.
Really? Well, then he's helping to perpetuate this self-defeating mentality that Republicans have. I can never win a citywide election. I can never win a statewide election in New York, right? By the way, I remember when President Donald Trump was being rejected by everyone, especially here at WABC, you got to move aside for DeSantis, for Nikki Haley. It's your time to hang it up. You already had your opportunity. You were the president. You lost, right, to Biden. You remember how bad they looked? Did he give up? No.
Sounds like.
Fight.
Wow. I didn't mean to step on you there. It sounds like you two have some bad blood. But
No, there's no bad blood. It's just, if you want to embrace Eric Adams, and he saved him from going to jail. Everybody knows Eric Adams is corrupt. He belonged in jail. He saved him because he wanted to be able to control him for the purpose of letting ICE operate in the streets of New York City. I get that. But then to embrace Eric Adams and not realize that ain't going to help him become mayor in New York City. It is a detriment The embrace of the president of the United States can help in most places. In New York City, he can't. He got 30% of the vote, the best he ever did in his 3 elections. But remember, 500,000 Harris voters just didn't choose to vote. This is not a friendly place for the president. I respect the president. If the president would have called me up, I'm the mayor, and I disagreed with him, I'd have to say, Mr. President, this is not in the best interest of the people.
And if he calls you up and tells you, I got to take a break, but if the president calls you up and says, Mr. Sliwa, you have got to get out the race, what are you going to do?
Mr. President, I'm running for the mayoralty of the city of New York. I will be there till November 4th, till all the votes are counted. Let the people make the decision respectfully. Remember, they floated the rumor that I was offered a job in the White House. Eric Adams floated that lie. Eric Adams said, don't worry about Curtis. I'm going to make him deputy mayor of public safety. That would be like putting 2 scorpions in a brandy glass. The moment I walk into City Hall, I would say, why did you bring back all the crooks? Why did you bring back all the good crooks that you got rid of or got indicted? They should be on the outside looking in. How long do you think I would last in an Eric Adams administration?
All of a New York 1 minute. But what I got to do is we're very late for a break. When we come back, I'm going to go to the callers. Folks, no long speeches. We want to hear from the candidate. Time for a break. We're coming back with Curtis Sliwa when we return.
It's Dominic Carter.
And we are live with candidate for mayor, Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa. And it is now confirmed, Mr. Sliwa, that Mr. Cuomo is indeed confirming an independent run. So he's going to continue on. And I think it's the height of arrogance, to be honest with you. He lost by a double-digit lead, spent all that money, only went to black churches on Sunday, and now says, I'm the guy, the rest of you get out. But, Walden and they're right. If 2 of you don't get out, I'm not saying it has to be you. I really do want you to win. But if 2 of you don't get out, you might as well swear Mondami in today. You might as well. So, but one more time. So the shortened version, because I'm curious. Now, I know that you can be strongly independent.
I am.
Right, okay. But if President Trump calls you with the information that you don't want to hear, that It's time to get out. So wait one more time, because this is not a love fest of what the president had to say when he mentioned you. So I want you to listen first, shortened version to what you just heard, and then you're going to hear Mayor Eric Adams saying he's not going to be bullied to get out.
As you know, Cuomo, who does have capability, is running, but he got knocked out, and now they're running as you have Eric Adams, the current mayor, you have Cuomo, and you have Curtis Sliwa. And Curtis runs every 4 years. He seems to be a fixture on the running scale. But you know, it's I'm not getting involved. But I can tell you this. I used to say we will not ever be a socialist country, right? Well, I'll say it again. We're not going to have, if a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to.
And so clearly the president talking about a federal takeover. So this was my last question, because I want to make sure that all the callers, you flooded the phones here, that they get an opportunity to speak to you. I will emphasize, if you start with the speeches, I will cut you off. Ask your question. You can make a quick general comment, and then we have to move on out of respect for time. So you're telling me, Mr. Sliwa, if the call, and you know that it could come from President Trump that says, listen, Curtis, you have got to drop out. You're telling me that you're going to tell the president of the United States. He didn't give you a ringing endorsement there. What he basically said is you keep running and you keep losing. Let's cut through the chase. You know what he said. I know what he said. If the president says you've got to drop out, you're telling me you're going to tell Mr. Trump no?
I am going to say to the president very respectfully, I'm running for mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. But I am the Republican candidate, and I earned this opportunity. And when there was an opportunity to have other Republicans or Eric Adams run, he chose not to in a Republican primary. Very respectfully. Very good.
Wow.
Can't do anything. Can't stop me from running. The president may wish that I'm not. But if he noticed, he tagged at the end, I'm staying out of it. That would be the best thing he could do. Stay out of it. He's got more important issues than the next mayor. He's got Ukraine, Russia. He's handling that. He's got Red China, the tariffs. He's handling that. He's got Iran. He's handling that. He's got Israel, Hamas. He's handling that. I think we can all agree, collectively or by those themselves, those are much more important issues for the world and for the nation. And that's why I voted for him for president.
And Adam says he's not going anywhere either, claiming that he will not be bullied by Cuomo.
He cannot do what he has done in the past. He's come up against a resilient, committed mayor that loves this city. And I'm going to get my message out. Andrew has a thing for African-American leaders, and he believes that he could just come in and bully them out. I keep telling people, I'm from Brownsville. Never run, never will. I'm going to win this race. He lost by double digits, 13 points. He lost by 13 points. The same polls that said he was up by 10 points. And we're now going to trust that same system to allow him to run.
I think I need to remind Eric Adams that all those black officials he's referring to endorsed Andrew Cuomo. Is he saying black people are stupid? Is that what he's saying? These black men of prominence are stupid? Carl McCall, who actually wrote a letter, they'd encouraged him to run before he announced. David Patterson, my husband-in-law, who I said this morning on the morning show, do me one favor, David. You've endorsed everybody in this race. Eric Adams first. You had a cup of coffee with Jim Walden. You embraced Cuomo with Keith Wright. Do not embrace me. I do not want your endorsement. It's the kiss of death. He talked about Charlie King, who's been the head of his campaign. Is Charlie King not a smart man? We know he's a smart man.
But Curtis, come on. You know the black community better than I do. Let's keep it real. You know that within black leadership, at times, Cuomo has not been liked because he Bigfoots black leaders whenever he wants a position that they have.
He Bigfoots everybody, as you know. Come on, he's a bully. And when you give a bully an opportunity to bully more, and this is what the Democrats have done, they allowed him to become attorney general. And then when David Patterson had a right to run after replacing Elliot Spitzer, remember, Hochul replaced Cuomo, and then she ran for governor. Cuomo threatened to indict him. Patterson tells that story, but he never tells you who the person who is going to indict him.
Correct.
So Cuomo is a bully. Everybody knows that. There is one guy who knows how to deal with bullies, and that's Curtis Sliwa. And today, where was Andy? Andy was on the corner of 93rd and 2nd playing with a little fluffy yarn bulldog of his value aide-de-camp, Melissa DeRosa, as they're doing a campaign commercial that apparently Channel 4 had exclusive rights to film the making of this at 93rd and 2nd. Hey, Andrew, is this the first time you've been back from the Hamptons since? You think you can run your campaign from the Hamptons? Or do you want to redo? Would you like to actually go out and do retail politics? Because I was in Harlem all weekend, Washington Heights all weekend. Get into the ring of fire. Get out there and campaign. And don't worry, some people are not going to like you because they're going to say, hey, Cuomo, smacking fannies and killing grannies. Man up. You're going to have to deal with that because he never showed humility. He never apologized. And I think a lot of voters said, my God, with all the bad things you did, you couldn't at least acknowledge that you made mistakes? No, I never made a mistake. And he blamed them. He blamed the families of the elderly who died. And then he blamed all the women who sued him and did invasive investigations into their personal lives. It was like right out of a playbook of J. Edgar Hoover. This guy's a despicable guy. Come on, Andy. Yeah, make your commercials, make your videos, and go hide in the
I'm telling you, if two of you don't drop out, you might as well swear in Mondani tomorrow or today.
Who created Mondani? The Democrats. Who let Bernie Sanders run against Hillary Rodham Clinton, who's never been a Democrat? The Democrats allowed socialists to take over their party.
Agreed.
So now we're expecting these same Democrats who allowed the socialists to take over to beat the socialists. Every 4 years, they send letters out and calls encouraging Republicans to become rent-a-wreck Democrats to help them fight the socialists in their party. It's time for the Democrats to clean up their own party. And you know something? They're afraid of the socialists. I'm not afraid of the socialists. I deal with them in the streets and in the subways. And notice, I'm the only candidate in the subways. Why do these candidates have an aversion not to be with real people in the subways where they're going to get praise and they're going to catch help, but they're going to get a lot of questions?
Let me try and get to as many calls as possible. People are patiently waiting to speak to you. Line 3, Jim in Bayonne. Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, Curtis, you're not only going to win, you're going to win big. No doubt about it.
Okay, what's your question?
My question.
Oh, you don't have a question? If you have a question, I'm moving on.
I got it.
Okay, well, please get to it, Jim. We don't have much time.
Curtis, how important do you think the animal welfare line is going to be in your campaign?
Very important, Jim. Thanks for bringing it up. First time ever in electoral politics, we got enough signatures to qualify Protect Animals line, no-kill shelters, and we're putting animal abusers in jail. And it's the first independent line. In fact, it's going to be right next to my name as a Republican. For all the talk of Adams and Cuomo were getting independent lines, they did a sloppy job doing it. We were the first to get in it. And so there are a lot of people, I agree with you, Dominic, would never vote for me as a Republican. They just won't. But they'll vote for me for the Protect the Animals line.
And you know what? That bothers me, what you just said.
Yes.
I didn't want to focus on it because we have too many calls. It bothers me that in many regards, and let's keep it real, you're blacker than I am. And you go into the hood, you go to places that I would never go to. But because that R is next to your name, they will never vote for you. And that's wrong. That is dead wrong.
I sort of truncate that. I go into neighborhoods where the only Republican they've ever seen is Abraham Lincoln on a $5 bill. And Abraham Lincoln, right, was the great liberator. They forget. I have to remind them. Remember, the Democrats wanted to keep you in slavery. It was the Republicans, which were the party of freedom. I'm not suggesting that all Republicans are good, but know your history. I mean, look, I come out of the history of Jackie Robinson was a Republican. James Brown, Godfather of Soul Brother #1, Republican, embraced Eisenhower, supported Nixon against Kennedy because the Democrats were the segregationalists. They didn't want civil rights for black people until, unfortunately, JFK was assassinated, and then LBJ recognized, boy, this is my pathway to the presidency. How did that work out? He bowed out in his next attempt at the presidency because of the Vietnam War.
It has to be frustrating for you as a candidate, though. I just want to get to some more of the calls. Line 4, Arthur, Long Island. Go right ahead, Arthur.
Yeah, hi. I think it's ridiculous that people are calling for Curtis to drop out. I know that Cuomo and Adams, they have a lot of baggage. I mean, Cuomo kills people. Adams is an ineffective and horrible mayor. But more importantly, if you fast forward to a debate with Mondani, who better to debate on stage than Curtis? I mean, Curtis is always...
I got it, Arthur. I got it. So he brings up a good point there. You know in a debate what's going to happen, Mr. Sliwa. Now, it's not what Arthur wants to hear. They're going to ignore you on a debate stage. You know they're going to act like you're not even there because you're a Republican. How, and this is why I've been telling people to donate to your campaign. This is why I've been telling people is put up a shut-up time. You know, 4 years ago, Eric Adams acted like you had the plague, like something because you're a Republican. He didn't have to pay attention to you. He showed up to the mandated debates, talked his talking points, would not engage you. How are you going to get around that?
Because I get under the skin of some of these people now, as you know.
This is true. This is true.
And I will not oblige the rules that will try to put me in a box.
Thank you. Thank you.
What I will say, though, is we're 45 minutes into the interview, and it shows you I'm not your typical politician because it was Dominic who had to let you know you got to help my campaign at Sliwa for NYC.com.
And you're not a typical politician. And the reason why I've been saying it, let's keep it real. I've said this now for the third time. You are too proud and honorary a man to do the typical politician thing and get on the air and beg for money. And I know you need money for staff, infrastructure. I know you need money for campaigns, television commercials, and so on. And that's why, because people want to call me up and argue because I assess the campaign the way it is. I'm sorry.
All right, but
I love you, but it is what it is.
The good news is we will be getting matching funds. I didn't get it already because I didn't have a primary. We should have $3 million on that 8-to-1 match. That means if you live in New York City and you give me $10, it's like Atlantic City. That $10 with a quick roll can become $90.
Correct.
So you go to Sliwa for NYC.com and the money will keep coming in and the commercials will be on the air. And let me tell you right now, it's not the time to run commercials. Everybody focuses after Labor Day. I know there's a lot of talk. There's international, national interest on this mayoral campaign. But in the last 2 months is when everybody locks down, focuses, and then starts making their choices. Right now, there's just too much hysteria. People need to just take a deep breath, step back, look at how we beat Mandami. And I say you do it on the issues because he's very vulnerable. Example, Wednesday, I'm going to be in court in Staten Island to repeal the city of yes. All three of these guys are for the city of yes, which would destroy residential housing. Basically, it would allow developers to come in. We don't have to go to a community board, don't have to deal with the council person. We can bulldoze anything. Eric Adams gave him that right. Cuomo signed off on it. And Mandami last week filed a friend of the court brief on behalf of Eric Adams and Cuomo. If they hate him so much, if they say that he's not, why didn't they reject that? So it's the three of them against me. I'm fighting to repeal the city of yes and to defend the homeowners in the outer boroughs. Nobody else is doing that. In the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island. It's Curtis Sliwa who's standing up to the city of yes. And these lithium-ion battery warehouses, they're putting 38 in Staten Island, 12 in Queens, 12 in Brooklyn, 8 in Queens, 4 in the Bronx. These individual sites go on fire. It takes 5 to 6 days to put out the fire, and they're putting them in residential areas. Cuomo agrees with that. Mandami agrees with that. Eric Adams agrees with that. The only one who would repeal that as mayor is Curtis Sliwa. Why wouldn't you vote for me? I'm defending the outer boroughs and those who own homes.
On that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with your calls. You see what you've done to the phone system here, Mr. Sliwa?
Haywire.
So we'll continue with the calls in just a moment. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
It's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. I'm with Curtis Sliwa. And Mr. Sliwa, the reason why I say to the audience, I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I want to get back to the phones. When I say put up or shut up, don't call me up yelling and screaming with me because I'm assessing the campaign accurately. You're not the type that's going to, you didn't mention money once this hour until I brought it up.
That is correct.
All of these candidates have billionaires behind them. And the bottom line is you need money to run a campaign, period. But why don't you play that up? Everybody else does.
Look, I'm the blue-collar working class guy. I don't have billionaires backing me up. We know that John is backing up Eric Adams, but he backed him up the first time I ran against him in 2021. People seem to forget that. I don't hold grudges against billionaires, but this is not an election that's going to be won by billionaires. They already failed the first time with Cuomo. Notice how quiet Bloomberg is now. He gave him $8 million, then followed it with $3 million. He's hedging his bet now. You know damn well, Dominic, they're meeting behind closed doors with Zoran Mandami, who's going to play nice, who's going to do a Bill de Blasio routine, just like de Blasio did when he got elected, because they want influence. That's what they want. And now we see Soros has been backing Zoran Mandami. So they all have billionaires. I got the blue-collar working class. I'll get the matching funds. I'll be able to compete.
So what's the best way? People listening right now, and especially people that live in New York City, what's the best way they can help your campaign financially?
Well, money. You just go online to Sliwa for NYC.com. That's SLIWAFOR, NYC.com.
Okay, let's go back to the telephone calls. Jimmy, line 3, Staten Island. Jimmy, what's on your mind?
Curtis, how you doing? I ran into you in the Staten Island Ferry Terminal a couple of Saturdays ago. You gave me a card. I gave you a gospel track. I pray for you every day. Have you entertained the thought going up against this madman Mandami? You got to spell Mandami with madman. But
Jimmy,
anyway,
please get to the point.
Have you thought about being proactive with President Trump and going nationwide for the support like these senators and Congress people do? New York's not going to support.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Go ahead.
Look,
Go ahead.
National will not determine the next mayor of New York City. Now, locally, Elise Stefanik has supported me, Mike Lawler. Bruce, the Nassau County executive, has supported me. State GOP, Ed Cox, all the committee people, they're all on board. This election is going to be won locally. And it's not going to be just one with Republicans. Well, only 11% of the electorate and probably less than that. It's independents. And remember, I have the independent vote. In poll after poll, I win the independent vote. And that's only going to grow. So with Republicans, independents, moderate Democrats, and animal lovers, I have a pathway to victory.
Let's go to line 4. John in Rockland County. John, go right ahead, please.
Hey, listen, Curtis doesn't need billionaires behind him. He has the Lord God Almighty behind him. When my friends and my family were telling me that there was no way Donald Trump was going to be president, I
Okay,
said,
John, we have a minute and a half left to the show. Direct it to, okay, thank you for the call, John. Folks, I'm not joking. A question of Mr. Sliwa, and then we're moving on. Judith on line 4 in Brooklyn. Judith, go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Judith, please.
Oh, hi. Yeah, Curtis, why are you afraid to attack Mandami, thinking that might be that you're attacking his religion when there's nothing to do with his religion? There's plenty to attack him with his policies and
Okay,
agenda.
all right, okay, he's got
And
it.
I
Go
just
ahead.
said that. The number one thing that has been revealed is he would not have police respond to domestic violence incidents. I said that will lead to women dying and children dying. Can you be any more specific than that?
No, you
And
can't.
plus, he has armed bodyguards
Plus,
now.
if you attack him now, it's a waste of time. The campaign, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Very good, marathon.
But
You got it.
anyway, whatever. Let's go to line 3. Marie, Long Island. Marie, you got 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Curtis, I just want to tell you, you are going to win. They all thought Trump wouldn't win, and he won 3 times.
Okay,
I must say,
you.
though, you, Dominic, were the first on board to say that Donald Trump would be the president of the United States.
Well,
and we
thank
all,
you for that.
We all
And-
looked at you like, you're nuts.
Right, and they get angry. The audience gets angry when I assess the campaign, and it's not personal. I want you to win.
I don't take it personally.
You never have.
But you were wrong about Cuomo.
Oh, here
You'll
we
be
go.
wrong about Adams.
Here we go.
And I'm going to be the next mayor.